Welcome once again to episode 3 of our Figma website design tutorial. For those of you just joining, the link to the episode 1 and 2 is somewhere pinned on top of this video, or you can visit my channel and see the playlist or the course section for the previous tutorial. However, in today's tutorial, we will be looking at title area and feature section. This is in continuation of our episode 1 and episode 2. In episode 1, we discussed the interface of Figma, how to understand Figma, how to sign up in Figma, and how to use Figma to achieve responsiveness in design. In episode 2, we talked about the header menu, how to create a standard header menu, and how to achieve text, typography, tokens, and every other thing that will make your design neat and presentable. Yes, this may be one of the hundreds of ways or thousands of ways to create a website, but this is certainly one simple way for beginners to understand how to create a website. This here was done in our episode 2. You can watch the episode complete tutorial on my channel. So in today's tutorial, we'll be talking about how to create the title area and the card section in Figma. So for this tutorial, we'll be working with one of these interface, which we have already created. So let me duplicate this. So I'm bringing this down. So we're working with this interface, and we will use this to create the title area and the features card section in this video. Now, as you all know, this here is the header menu, and we built this using our layout guide. So we built this using this layout guide, ensuring that every details is pegged inside the column between the two left and right column, and nothing exceeds the column. And also from previous tutorial, you saw the importance of naming your frames or naming your auto layout, which is very, very important in order to achieve responsiveness in design. So now, today's tutorial, we'll be working with text. So I'll go over to ChatGPT and I will impute some text that we will be needing in this tutorial. So I think we will need, let's use this text. Okay, so we'll be using this text for the title area. Okay, beautiful. Now, this is what we'll be using. Now, if I haven't gotten the text, so the next thing we have to do is we have to arrange the text, because we need the title and we need a body and we need a button. So how do I achieve this? So I'll duplicate this and bring it inside. From here, we can see that I find a place called home can be used as our title. So we're using this as our title, find a place called home. So now, remember, like I told you, we can actually create our own typography in Figma, our typography style in Figma, and make it a token to be reusable, or we can actually use the already imputed token in Figma. Now, to make your typography style, let me give you an instance on how to make a typography style. Although we've talked about it previously in episode 1, where I told you that one simple way to create a design system is using the plugin called Fig Identity. With Fig Identity, the issue of plugin is resolved. So now we'll create this manually, although for tutorial sake, in this video and the whole of this tutorial, I will be using the inbuilt typography style and color style in Figma. That is what I will be using for this tutorial. So now for this, I'll teach you how to create. So to create a style, if I want to create a style, maybe I want my header to be 66. I'll come over to text size and make here 66. Then I want it to be semi-bold. If I want to use enter as the text, I will use it. If the spacing is too much, I'll come over to the line height and reduce it. If I want to reduce this, I can reduce this to, let's say, 50. Okay, 62 is okay. Okay, then this, I'll do this. I'll still want to increase the line height. So I just want to tell you what I'll do if I want to create a text style in Figma. Remember that. So now to create this, now what will I do? Having done this, I'll come over to text style, click on apply style. Then I'll come over to create style. Then when I come over to create style, I'll click on create style. I'll name this. I might name this header 1. Then the description is optional, but I may say for main title area. Then once I click style create, I've created a style. You see this, it's already created on the typography. So if I want something else, maybe I want to use the same style or the same token for something else, I'll come over here. Let me say hello. So what will I do? I'll just come over to style, click on apply style, search for the one I created. You see what I created here is known as header 1, main title area. I'll click on it. Immediately I click on it, it has appeared. Immediately I click on it, it has appeared, same thing as it was here. So that is how to create styles in Figma. So whatever you do, you create styles, so you make it a reusable token, you make it reusable, which is now it becomes a token. But for this our style, we will certainly be using, I don't want to use a token I created. So I'm not using the token I created. I want to use token that is already available. So I'm deleting this. I don't need that token. So now what do I need? So I'll come over now, in order to use a token that is present in Figma, I'll come over to text styles once again. If I come over to text style, I'll pick on, let's pick H1. Okay, I don't like H1. The spacing is too big, and the name of the text is focal. So let's go for material design guide, material design kit. So yeah, so this one is global token heading. So this is material design kit. So let me use. So I'll use large 57. Is this okay? let's see if I'll use emphasis. Okay, since I am using material design kit, I don't want to use anything. I just want to use the inbuilt style in Figma, so you understand it perfectly well. Let's go with material 3 design kit. Let's go with this. So having done this, the next thing I want to do is I want to make this an auto layout. So I'm making this an auto layout. So now this is an auto layout. So as usual, you must learn to name your auto layout. So you must learn to name your auto layout. So I'll call this title text. Title text, or better still, I'll call this text. So you get to use, so you understand that every text is text in our design. So that's it. Then I need the body text. So for the body text, I'll come over to remove this. Remember, this was gotten from ChatGPT. I give ChatGPT a prompt. It should give me a web text for website, a header section text, or a title area text for the hero section of your website. So again, I'll come over to typography. When I come over to typography, I'm using material design kit. So I'll just want to stick onto material design kit. So now for this body text, so let me see what this one looks like. Okay, it's not what I want. Medium emphasis. Let me see, medium 45. It's still too big. I need something smaller. So let me go with this. This is the emphasis. I don't want the emphasis. Let's go with small. How does it look like? Is it giving me what I want? Okay. Okay, is it giving me what I want? It's still too big. I want something different. So let me use large. So this display, let's go over down, and this is 36. Let's use 34, 32. Let's see if 32 is too big. Let me see what 28 looks like. Okay, so I like 28. So I'll be using 28 for this purpose. So now again, I want to make the body text an auto layout. Remember, how do you know if your text is already how do you know if you are using a style guide? If you are using details from the style guide, you will see this detached style icon or detached style icon. Once you see it, you know that yes, your text is attached to a particular style. So I'll make this an auto layout, Shift A. So I'll come over to this. I'm gonna call this text or body text, whatever I want, or I just want to rename this. It's a good practice in design to rename let me call that. I'll call this body text. I'm calling this body text. Okay, so having done this, the next thing I want to do is I need a button. Remember, we created the button component when we were working with this. We created the button component when we were working with we created the button component when we were working on the header section. You can go over to the header section and check what it looks like. So I can just copy this, drag and drop, expand, and change the name to Explore Properties. Explore Properties. Explore Properties. So this is Explore Properties, but there's something I want. I want to make the text emphasis, like I want to make it a bit large. I want to give the text some emphasis, make it a bit medium. So this is it. So now what do I need to do now? For this now, I'll make all of them. I'll make everything here an auto layout, place it in an auto layout. So I'll call this, let me call this title area. So I'm calling this title area. So this is what you have. Then there's something we need to change. If you see, I want to remove the padding. So I'm removing the padding here. Then after removing the padding, what do I want? I want to align this to the left. Okay, beautiful. Then if I want to give a padding, I want everything here to have a padding of 10. The left and the right should have a padding of 10. The top and the bottom should have a padding of 10. Beautiful. Then there's something I noticed, the space between this. I want the space between the title and the subtopic and the body text to be same. Why both of them should have a different gap or spacing with the button. So I like the two of them. Remove the padding, make it a component, and I can call this body slash title. Body slash title text. So okay, beautiful. Then what do I need? So let's give this now a padding of maybe 10 or 12. Then this one, I'll give this a padding of say 18 or 20. Beautiful. Then there's something else. I need an image. I need an image, or I need a placeholder for an image. So I'll come over here. So I'm coming over here. I want the image to be in this section, but there's something I noticed. I want to reduce this. So it occupies. You see now I'm shifting this, nothing is moving. But I want to reduce it so it occupies just this column, while the image will occupy the other column. Okay, so I'll check what's happening. I'll make sure everything here is in fill container. So I'll place this in fill container. This should be fill container, except the button. The button should be all content or fixed. So that's it. So let's shift this again. Oh, it's still not working. This one is like this is not in, okay, this is in fill container. Shift it to the center. What's not in fill container? Okay, let's see what's happening. Is this no? Fix this, okay, and let's see if we put this here. Still not working. Something is wrong somewhere. Fill container. Fill the text. What's the text? The text is not filled. I think that's where the problem is coming from. Take this back to left. Yeah, beautiful. So this is what I wanted. So I have achieved this. I just wanted everything to be. To achieve this, you have to place everything, both the text, everything should be fill container. So that this is it. So this is what I want. So this is what I want. So I think I'll put this here. Then this image, I'll bring it over. So I want this to be my image. So I think this is cool. This is cool for me. Yeah, so this is cool for me. So I've gotten a placeholder, then I've gotten my text, my title area. So for the placeholder, I need an image. So I'll have to go to a plugin. So I'm using this plugin called Unsplash. You can use different plugin, there's Pixel, there's Unsplash for image generation. You can use AI to generate image also. So yeah, I'll type in real estate. So I just want a perfect building that will befit our website. So I think I like this one. Let's see how it is in the design. Not really cool, not what I want. Let's see this one. Okay, I think this one is. I think this is better. Or what about this one? So this one looks like. This one gives a kind of nice vibe though. Let's see what it looks like. I think I prefer this one compared to this one. So let's use this one. So I've gotten this. So the next thing I'll do, let me bring back Shift G to add back my layout guide. So for this, let me reduce this. Okay, beautiful. So I've gotten this. I've gotten a placeholder. I've gotten a placeholder, and I've gotten my title area. Just this is how simple it is in creating your website. So what do? I need the two of them to be in an auto layout. So I'll come over, click on this, click on both of them, highlight both of them, and make it an auto layout. Beautiful. Yeah, if it changes, no problem. You see, it switched, no problem. But let's rename this as hero section. Then for the switching, there's no problem. What do I have to do? I just have to take this back. So take this back. Yeah, beautiful. So now I have my title, my hero section. So this is what it is. So now what else do I need to do? For this hero section, I need to place this hero section in a fixed container so that when I want to, for what, the reason, because for responsiveness. Okay, so I have to create another auto layout inside the hero section auto layout, Shift A. So this auto layout, I'll call this auto layout fixed hero section, fixed hero container. Let's call it fixed hero container. So I'm calling this fixed hero container. So I'm dragging this here. So I'll spread it. You see, it's not moving. Yeah, I know why it's not moving. It's not moving because this thing here is not aligned to the center. So we align it to the center. What am I aligning? I'm aligning the hero section. The hero container is already aligned to the center, I guess. Okay, let's align the hero section, fixed hero container to the center. Then we have to align the hero section also to the center. Beautiful. So after aligning the hero section to the center, then I'll come over to fixed hero container and add padding. I'll add padding so well that it meets up with where the column started and where the column ended in the design. Beautiful. So with this, I have my hero section available. So another thing, you see this gap, I may want to end this gap by creating a top and bottom padding of say 96. Say 96. Then I'll shift this to touch this. So now the whole this whole thing now is an auto layout. We're giving this a 96 padding. Now let's change this to say 90 or say 80 or 70. Let's use 80. Let's use 90. Reduce this to 80. So now I think I'm okay with this one. So with this now we have this padding. So I'm giving this a padding of 10. So with this now I now have my title area or the hero section of the website. The next thing I'll be doing now is I want to create a section called the feature section. So for this section, let me copy the text here and let me type in our features. Our features. So I'll type in features here. So to this, I'll make this. I don't like this spacings. Like this. Then I want to change the typography. So remember, we're using simple material design kits. So for this purpose, let's use 57. Let's use display emphasis. So I think I'll use this, or better still, let's use medium emphasis. Beautiful. So for this, I will. What did I use here? Display. Okay, M3 display. What am I using? M3 display medium. What am I using? What did I use here? M3 display large. Okay, 57. This is 45. Okay. So now I'll make this an auto layout. So when I make this an auto layout, I'll call this. So I'll call this auto layout head. Let me call this header. Header. Okay. So this is an auto layout. So now for the feature section, I'll go over to ChatGPT. I give it a prompt. So I'll bring out some prompt from ChatGPT, what we're going to use. So for this section, we'll be using this contents for our feature section. So this is the content we'll be using for our feature section. So how do we create a very detailed feature section? So what do we do? So now for this feature section, we're going to create, first and foremost, let's bring out the text. Let me just copy this, bring it here, remove this. Okay. Then on this one, I'll shift it down, I'll bring it up, remove this. So it's remaining just the title. So this is just the title remaining. So now for this title area, what do I want? Let's change the typography for the title area. So now I'll go over to material design kit. What should I use? So let's see if I'll use 36. 36 looks too big. So I'll go over to let me use, I want to use 22. No, kind of too small. So let me use 28. Okay, so this is 28. Then I'll make this an auto layout. So definitely remember, you always make whatever you're doing in Figma, always try to make it an auto layout. So for this auto layout, I want to call this title. Okay, beautiful. Then for this one, yeah, so I'll change this to, I'll come back to typography, stretch down to, so for this, what if I use 28? No, I don't like this 22. So let's use 20. Let's use this. I think 22 is okay for me. 22 is okay. Then this one is 28. This is 22. So I'll make this an auto layout. So I'll call this body text. So I have this now. So the next thing I want to do is I want to make this an auto layout. Making this an auto layout, I'll remove this padding of the content here, so that I'll make this align everything to the right. So it's what I want. Then yeah, I'll give this a gap of say 10. Okay, beautiful. So I have the text, I have the body. So the next thing I want a button. I don't know if I've created, let me check if we can use one of the buttons here. So I'll get this, bring it over, and see if I can use one of the buttons here. So now for these buttons, I'll come over to this and check if there's any button I can use here. I don't think there's a particular button I need or I want. A particular button I want. Do we use this? Do we use this variant? I don't like this variant. I don't like this variant. So I'll swiftly create a button. So I want to create a button. So for this button, I'm using this text. So now what text did I use in these buttons? This is 1624. Okay. So I'm changing this text to 1624. 1624. Let's use this one. No. I'm using this one. Because this is the button I use for all the rest ones. Or better still, I want to use a different button entirely, different button size for this one. I don't want it to have an emphasis. I just want normal button. But I think this one goes well. No, not this one. So this one gives me what I want. So yeah, I'll write explore more. So I'll create this, make this field container, then this, align to the center. The height, give this an height of 10. Align to the left. Make this hook content. Yes, so I think this is okay. Explore more, I think this is okay. Then for this button, I want to make this button a component. So that when you click on the button, just like we did in other buttons, when I click on this button, when I hover on this button, I want an effect to appear here. So I'll add a fill effect. But for the fill effect, I'll come over to our token inside of Figma. Let me use this neutral color, and I'll give this a corner radius of say 4 or 8. Let me give this a corner radius of 8. Then I'll make this shift A. No, okay, I'll come over to create component and make this a component set. Beautiful. Then I'll call this default. I'll call this hover. So this is hover. Then if there's a third, if I should create a third variant, I'll call this variant pressed. So I'll call this variant pressed. I'll change the color. So I want to change the color from neutral 200 to say 900. Why? I change the color text, here to 100. Beautiful. So now I'll come back to prototype, and as usual, I'll prototype this. So if I hover on this, while hovering, gives me this. If I press this while clicked, gives me this. So this is it. I'm bringing this out, so it's off. I'll come out this Ctrl C or Command C, depending on what you're using to work. So Command Shift R. So with that, I've replaced this button with the token of the component. So that's that. Then the next thing I'll do is, having done this, I'll give this a padding. Let me give this a padding of 10. So give this a padding of 6. Beautiful. Yeah, 10 is okay. So the next thing I want to do now is this is okay though. So just for me to increase this, but I want to add an image. I want to add an image to this. So what do I do? So let me come over to this. Bring out this. So remember, we're trying to build a feature card section. I'll add this here. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, so this is okay. So to this here, I've gotten this. So the next thing I want to do is probably, I'm not aligning to the center, so probably I will add a fill color. So I want to add a fill color to this. And for the fill color, I'll come again over to this. I'll look for a suitable variant to use, a suitable color here to use. Okay, what color do I use? Use a primary color. No, I don't like this. Okay, let me use off-white. Is this okay? It's an off-white. Create this, make this, give this a corner radius of say 16. Give this here a color radius of say 8. You want to, I like to reduce this header, this title. I want to reduce this to 24. Then this I want to reduce to 18 or 16. This is to 16. Yes, I want to reduce that to maybe this. Well, I'm going to leave it as it is. 22. This is what? 24. I'll leave it then. I'll leave that so it's okay. So now for this one, what do I do? So this is okay. But I still feel like changing the fill color. So I'll come over here. Oh, I don't like this fill color. What if I come over, see what this one gives us? Okay. I think I like this one. This accent color. Okay, beautiful. I like this accent color. Then what else? Then this, I want these two, the title, I want to align them together. I'll call this text. I'll call this title / body. And this, I'll call this one card 1. Let me call this card 1. So now for this, so why these two, I want to align this also, Shift A. So this is, so I'll call this card detail, card text. So to this one, I will give a space of 14. Why this? I'm giving this a space of 12. Beautiful. Okay, beautiful. Then on this image here, I'll have to add an image there, but it's always better to make this. Let's see if we make this a component. So it becomes a reusable card. So let's just make this a component. We'll come over here and click component. So if we're making it a component, we're pushing it out. So Ctrl C. So I'll copy this. That's our card 1. I'll paste it here. So that's our card 1. So this is our card. So I'll duplicate. I want to duplicate this. I'm duplicating this. So now for the text, yes, I'm changing the text. So we've used the first one. So the next one I'm using is this one. So I'll just copy this, paste here. Ctrl V. Then copy this. Ctrl X. Paste here. Ctrl V. So then this one. Let's give this another layer. Shift A, and let's call this card container. So I duplicate this. Okay. I'll call this Ctrl X. I'll come over here and paste it here. So this is smart. Ctrl S. Okay. And what else? Then this. I'll come over here. Ctrl X. I'll paste this here. Beautiful. So there, I've got it. So let's use just 3. So I just want to use 3. So 3 is okay for me. I don't want to do too much. So this now. So what do I do? I'll make sure they align. Okay. I'll make sure every content here is fill container. I'll make sure they're in fill container. Okay, so that it will enable me to adjust. If I want to adjust it to make sure it doesn't exceed this. So beautiful. So our card is getting ready. So I just want to change each of the cards to a different accent color. So I'm changing each of the cards to a different accent color. Then for the images, I'll come over to the plugin, same plugin, Unsplash. So when I get to Unsplash, I'll check for homes. So I'll just pick this. I'll come over here, pick this, come over here, and take this. Beautiful. So now, what do I need again? I think I need a little space. Let's make this 10 on top. Okay. Yep. That's cool. Then let's give this. I want to add effects on this. So I'll add a simple drop down if shadow. Yeah. So the drop down shadow is supposed to appear in all of this. Yeah, it's appearing. So now let's see what I've done. So Shift G. Okay. Beautiful. But there's other thing I want to add. I want this to be expanded. Yeah. I want to expand each of the. If you observe as I'm changing this, the whole card is affecting the whole. It's affecting all the card because this is the appearance. So whatever I do here affects the card's details. So yeah, so this is what I want. I want it this way. So now having done this, the next thing is bring back our grid. Shift G. Then highlight this, make everything an auto layout, Shift A, call this feature card section. So beautiful. Then the space here is too much, so I'll have to reduce this. Let's reduce this to say 40. Let's reduce that to say 44 or 40. So having done this, beautiful. So now we've gotten our feature card section. So the next thing, I want to make another auto layout and call this feature card fixed section. So this is our feature card fixed section. So I'm just going to drag it here. So once I drag it there, the next thing is I'll push this. Yes, if you observe, it's dragging with the whole thing, but these are our image here doesn't drag because it's not fill. So let's make it fill container. Beautiful. You see, it has expanded its reach. Okay, that's cool. Then this spacing here, let's make this spacing 14. So it gives it a little breathing space, or 16. Okay, then that's okay. So now having done this, so then I said this is the fixed section, so we'll have to give it a padding. So pushing it to where the column started and where the column ended. Beautiful. So with this, we now have our card section. We have our card section. What did we give to this? We give this 80. Let's reduce this to say 40. So I'll make this the top and bottom padding. I'll make the top and bottom padding 40. I want to make the top and bottom padding 40. So I'll take this to 40. So the top and the bottom padding 40. I shift it over here. Make sure it's aligned to the center. Then here, align to the center. Beautiful. So thank you very much. If you are just joining, remember to subscribe to this channel, like and comment, share with your friends. Thank you, and see you in our next tutorial. But for now, let's do a short prototype of what we have been working on since. So this is what we have been working on. So now let's prototype this to see. I'll remove this, I don't need that. So this is the card and this is the two components we manufactured from the design. So now what do? So come over to prototype.